Hello, everybody. Hope all of y'all are having a good day today. Today is June 14th, 2012, and it is my 10-year spiritual rebirth birthday. On June 14th of 2012, I encountered love, I encountered God, and it changed my life forever. Most of you guys know my story. I was down and out. I was at the lowest that I believe I could possibly go. I had found my bottom, and I was angry. I was especially angry with God. I wasn't really sure if God existed, but I was thinking to myself, if he does exist, I got a bone to pick with him. I was really upset with my life, and I remember I'd been trying to get stronger drugs because the weed and the pills that I had, I couldn't get high anymore. Just nothing could numb me enough. I didn't want to feel anything. And I've been trying to get stronger drugs, and every corner that I turned, every door that I knocked on got shut in my face. People tell me, I don't know what's going on. I've never not been able to get that drug before, but for some reason I can't get it now. I'd been raised in a church when I was young that told us that God didn't work miracles anymore, and that his spirit doesn't live within you anymore, that we have the King James Bible. It replaced God's spirit. And that doctrine always made me feel empty inside. It made me feel lonely. It made me feel like there was really no hope, that everything was up to me and my ability. And all my life, my ability and my strength had gotten me in trouble, and if you would have asked me if I believed in God, I would have told you yes, but only because I've been told all my life that if you don't believe in God, that you're going to burn for all eternity in hell. I didn't have real faith because I didn't know God. How could I have faith in something that I didn't know? And I had confessed with my mouth many times that Jesus is Lord. I had said the sinner's prayer many times, been baptized a few times, and but my belief was wrong. And so I didn't really know if there was a God or not. I was always told that God's not going to work in your life in a miraculous way and do things. But after a few weeks of trying to obtain stronger drugs, because I was just hurting so bad, mentally, physically, and everything, and I just wanted to stay numb. I didn't want to feel anything anymore. After about 2 or 3 weeks of trying to get them, and I'd never had any trouble getting drugs. Drugs was easy to get. I started thinking to myself, there's something different going on here, like a supernatural different. And I started thinking, maybe this is God not letting me have this drug. And so I got angry. And that night, June 14th, 2012, I yelled out. I was angry. I yelled out loud. I said, if you won't let me get stronger drugs, then what do you want with me? And I wasn't expecting an answer. But at that moment, I heard the most beautiful voice that I've ever heard in my life come from deep within me. It was just, it was so faint, but I heard it. And it said, call out to Jesus. And I remember thinking, did I hear something? What is? And then I heard it again. Call out to Jesus. It's that still small voice. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm either going crazy or this is real. And I started to say that if you will take all this from me, all this pain, this frustration, just everything, all this negative stuff, if you'll take this from me, I'll serve you. Now, I was thinking that, I'd go find a church somewhere and I'd sweep the floors and clean the bathrooms. I had no idea. But before I could get that word serve out of my mouth, I said, if you'll take all this from me, I'll serve. And as soon as it started to say serve, it's like I just got just enveloped by love, a love that human words cannot explain. An artist cannot paint a picture of it. A poet cannot give this justice, what this love is like. It's indescribable. It can only be experienced. You can't explain it. But in the twinkling of an eye, I was changed, and the next thing I know, I'm on the floor on my knees, and the only thing I can get out of my mouth, because I'm crying with joy, is that you are real. You're really real. Because at that moment, God became real to me. I know God. I knew God because I know His love. God is love. At that moment, I had real faith. There was no way you could ever convince me that God is not real. There is no way that you could ever convince me that God does not have power to change you, because in that moment I put everything down. Cigarettes, alcohol, marijuana, pills, bad ideas, depression, negativity. I found out that at that moment that I had the strength that comes from deep within me, that doesn't come from me, comes from another source, but it's always been within me, that could allow me to do anything that I put my mind to it. And God would always be there to help me. I had this new heart, this new mind to do things, and it was no longer selfish things. All I wanted to do was tell the world about this amazing love and about how it changed me. And I wanted to tell everybody, if it could change me, someone that was as bad as I was, been addicted to drugs all my life pretty much, that if it could do that for me, and I'm nobody special, then it could do it for the whole world. And so my plan was to go out. I was going to go to all these churches, tell everybody about it, because I'd never heard people talking about this kind of power, this kind of strength that God gives you to overcome things. And I was amazed at how I was rejected by a lot of churches, especially the old church that I used to go to. They even told me that, the preacher there told me that it was a good chance that I probably had a nervous breakdown. I was like, oh, and nervous breakdowns give you the power and strength to defeat drug addiction and all these other things. But if someone's eyes, you can't open their eyes, only God can open their eyes. And I learned that real fast. But at that moment, I knew God had a divine plan for me, a divine path for me to walk. And my whole life I'd been walking this path, I thought, on my own, doing things my way. And I knew at that moment I was going to submit everything of my life to God. That's why I'm here in the Philippines today. I had no idea that God was going to take me so far away from my mom and pop, my son and daughter, and my future grandchildren. I had no idea. He's given me an amazing life here, and I would never trade anything that I have right now. I miss all of those, my family in America, and I know one day I'll get to see them again. But this divine path that God has put me on is, I'm doing things now that I never would have imagined in a million years that I would be doing, and giving all praise and honor and glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I just, I would have never imagined that. I'm in front of crowds talking, something I was always afraid to do before. I didn't like being in front of people talking. I've been in crowds of hundreds, I've put myself out there on YouTube and Facebook. I've reached hundreds of thousands there. And I'm just getting started. We're just getting started. So anyway, it's my 10-year birthday, and I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without Him, I know I would either be dead or in prison. And here I am, almost 10,000 miles away from Texas, in the middle of a jungle on a mountain, feeding hundreds of children every month, going to congregations of churches, speaking, sharing the knowledge that God shares with me. I am amazed at this fountain that's just overflowing within me of sermons and teachings that come to me. They come to me so fast now and so often that I have to make little video messages to myself and constantly writing notes so I don't forget things, because it just comes. It's just amazing. I love that. That's the best gift in the world, when God speaks to you and shares things with you. And that's why you have to share that food, that manna from heaven, with everybody else. And that wine, that new wine. It's an incredible new life. And to think that in the beginning, my youngest age, I was told that God doesn't work miracles anymore and His Spirit doesn't live within us. That the King James Bible replaced His Spirit. It's actually taught that God decided one day His Spirit wasn't good enough and He would replace it with the King James Bible. That's another story. God's Spirit is amazing. His love is indescribable. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you all for journeying along with me over the past 10 years, and I love you all. God bless. One of the most beautiful things that someone has ever said to me was said to me by my mother the other day. She told me that because of my faith and the power of what she's seen God do in my life, that it has strengthened her faith and my pop's faith as well. That's all this is about. I love you all. God bless.